college, you know that we lit again. They don't wanna see the squad. They don't wanna see the rain. They don't wanna see a bitch.
Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm Damon Bruce. Glad to have you with us. Friday Hoops Fest coming up next. It's the Miami Heat facing off against the Indiana Pacers.
Thanks for tuning in this Wednesday. 2K. Our starting lineups will look at the matchups here and who we'll see for our starting five for both teams. First for the Heat, and then for the Indiana Pacers. They've got Turner. He'll be looking to control the boards tonight and provide that key offensive production from inside. Then there's Oladipo, and it's Warren in at the 4. Oladipo, good. And so here is Miami. Outside Butler. Dishes to Robinson. Deflects the pass. Turner with the steal. Berggren. And he finishes it off with a one-handed jam. Savage. That's the way to get some momentum on your side.
Absolutely. Those dunks can really have a deflating effect on the defense.
Especially coming from a guy out of the backcourt. Well, what a series it was in the finals a year ago. Such great basketball. Two teams that like to play up-tempo. And I'll tell you, the Spurs had Miami. They had the series in the bag. They were one play away from wrapping it up in Game 6, but the miracle comeback from the Heat that led to the Game 7 victory and another title for the Miami Heat.
The part that was interesting because the games themselves weren't particularly close through the first half of the series, but things started to get really tight when they left San Antonio after Game 5.
How about that, Kevin? You talk about things tightening up. We had a game for the ages in Game 6. 28.6 seconds to go. The Spurs +5. Miami needed a miracle, and they found it in the form of timely three-point shooting and got some help from the San Antonio Spurs missing some free throws.
The Game 6 was about as intense an NBA game as you'll ever see.
Oh, it was off the chart. Absolutely fantastic.
There's the pass to Butler. Whoops, they pick off the pass. Here's Holiday, and there's the rejection. They retain possession. Outside, Jones. Outside, Butler. He dishes it to Robinson. On the wing, Jones. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful.
Beautiful finger roll to cap that drive off. He knows how to finish with some flair and flavor, guys.
Earlier, Doris Burke spoke with head coach Eric Spoelstra. And what did you find out, Doris?
Kevin, their perimeter shooting game is what he thinks will make the difference in this one. He didn't want to take anything away from the defenders they're up against, but he did say he'd be surprised if his team doesn't shoot a high percentage from outside. We'll see, guys.
Thanks, Doris. Always want to get those threes falling consistently.
Yeah, Kevin, you're right, because that's really the only way that you can force the defense to spread out and extend itself, and when that happens, then other opportunities are created.
Boy, we don't see that too often. No defender on him, and he just planks the open jumper.
Outside, Robinson. And no good, and a chance to take the lead.
You know, Heat head coach Eric Spoelstra worked his way up from the very bottom of that organization. I mean, he got his start as a video coordinator, and through years of hard work and dedication, has really become an outstanding coach.
Miami with the ball after the miss from Oladipo. Heat moving the ball around. Clock at 6. Jones kicks to Robinson. Robinson can't get that one to fall. And back to Coach Eric Spoelstra. As a guy who got his start as a video coordinator, picking the game apart, Stevie's very comfortable with the new advanced stat movement, analytics in the NBA.
Yeah, and I've had a chance to speak with him quite a bit. He says that the way they use advanced stats is just as a conversation piece in the coaching room. Their analytics department will bring them various information, and it will force them to ask questions, which is very healthy for a coaching staff to do.
Here's Holiday. Drops it in from 11 feet. Holiday's got his first 2 points. There's a good screen. Pass to Olynyk. Feeds it to Tyler. To the middle. Here's Leonard. There's the steal. 43 seconds left here in the first quarter. Number 9. And the defense didn't have position. They whistle a blocking foul, and he'll go to the line.
Well, his playmaking ability certainly worth noting, Clark.
Yeah, you rarely see an efficient offense that doesn't feature good passing, Steve. You know that. He helps keep the ball moving. Well, Indiana's success last season was built around its defensive prowess, and they usually would set the tone at the start of the game. They were one of the best in the league at allowing the fewest first-quarter points.
And the shot's good from Crowder.
That's like a layup for him. He's just wide open out there.
26 seconds left in the first quarter. Now here is Holiday, defended by Crowder. To the paint, here's McDermott. It's rebounded by Leonard.
And they forced the miss with that good defensive rotation. They're playing well together as a unit.
Backs down, taken away by Holiday. And still a close game. Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Pacers?
And I thought the key to that first quarter, guys, was the turnovers they faced with that aggressive defense.
Well, the defense, as you said, Steve, has been really aggressive, and it's paid off for them a few times already. Only one turnover so far in the game for them, Kevin. Another reason they're in the lead with halftime approaching, taking care of the ball.
Great defense. He anticipated the play and got there first.
Yeah, I think he got there in time. Nice play.
Now here's Dragic. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Hill kicks to Dragic. Iguodala. No good off the front iron. Indiana leading. Pass to Sampson. They get the rebound. Shot's good by Turner. Turner's got the second quarter going with the first basket of the period for the Pacers. And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Guys, John Wall may be the fastest player in the league, but it's been his outside shot that's held him back from becoming a superstar. He said in his younger days he never needed to shoot from outside, and added that if he did, he shot it, quote, like I was a lights-out shooter, fade away, no follow-through. In other words, he made the shot more difficult than it had to be. Now, he says, the main thing for me is using my speed and shooting on the way up. Guys, he's put a lot of work into his shot, and we're starting to see the results.
Well, as his shooting comes along, that's a great way for him to really find his niche, Doris. Thanks.
A lot of people picked the Heat to run away with the East last year, and they were right on target. They were just so far and away better than any other team in the East that you just didn't see them losing much during the course of the season.
And a new group in for the Heat. Mark, as you said, the Heat clinched the East pretty early and were able to rest up a lot of their players down the stretch. Steve, never easy to win when everyone expects you to win games, but the Heat didn't seem fazed by the pressure at all.
Well, this is a championship team, and I think once you win that first title, you get a different level of confidence, and that showed last season as Miami rolled to their second title in a row.
The Heat shooting their fifth and 6 free throws of the game.
Well, you look at last season's numbers, guys, down below 70% as a team from the line.
And those aren't the kind of numbers they can afford to repeat throughout this season.
Robinson's checked in for Hill. And it's the Pacers with the ball. Here's Turner. Another shot, and he lays it up and in.
I really like the fire, the intensity that they're playing with now. They got off to a tough start there in the first quarter. They didn't shoot it particularly well. They've played through it. They've been able to stick with it, and that, to me, that shows their resilience.
That's good.
You know, he's really adept at keeping possessions alive by hitting the boards and cashing in on some of those putbacks.
And something else you can't forget about is his shot blocking, Steve. I mean, he's an intimidator down low.
Now here's Turner, Berggren, and blocked. And that's out of bounds. Indiana will retain possession. So the Pacers call timeout, their first of the game.
You know, in order to win your division, you have to be able to win games against the rest of your conference, and that's exactly what Indiana did last season. A tough team and a tough division, and they gave no ground to other teams in the East.
We're just over 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. And Holiday, here we go. The shot by Turner, no good. Heat have gone 2 of 5 from the field here in the second quarter, shooting 40%. Tupon guarded by Holiday. Robinson for 3. It's rebounded by Oladipo. And the Pacers, as you mentioned, Clark, very solid against the other teams in the East as they would cruise to a 31-20 record against the rest of the conference.
And really, that's because this team is built to handle anything that's thrown at them, given it's a big, strong, kind of old-school team.
Already shaken.
I don't know that this is the time for that kind of flair. In a close game, the important thing is the 2 points, not the dramatics.
Oh, come on, Clark. He had to go for it, didn't he?
I'm with you, Kevin. You can't fault him for that. I mean, just let him go. Who cares?
He feeds it to Warren. Berggren. There's the dish to Turner. Outside Holiday. Cans the shot with nobody near him. And the Pacers lead by 2. Miami's gone 0-3 from beyond the arc to start the second quarter. Butler kicks to Jones. Tupon. Good ball movement here by the Heat. And the go-ahead bucket, no good. Pacers have gone 4 of 10 in the second quarter from the field. And Oladipo kicks to Warren. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. And it's a 4-point Pacer lead.
Well, I'll tell you what, the defenders didn't even get a sniff of him on that move to the hoop.
And Butler gets it to go.
There it is again.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
And now it's time to...
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
We have a close ball game on our hands as we get set for the second half of basketball. You have to like what we're seeing from Butler.
Well, guys, what he gives this team is an edge. I mean, he gets into the arena, he just lights it up, and I thought that first half, he really had it rolling.
You know, he doesn't just give them an edge. He gives them a confidence and a swagger they wouldn't otherwise have. I mean, he's a special player to have around.
Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Guys, as you know, the Miami Heat try to keep the plays they run as simple as they can and rely on their talent and teamwork to win them games. But playing like that can present its own kind of problems. Coach Spoelstra said, quote, "The challenge is not getting bored with simplicity." Simple is what works, though, as evidenced by their back-to-back titles, guys.
Well, Doris, sometimes it makes sense to keep it simple. Thanks. They get a hand on it. Here's Warren, and the layup's good off the glass. Warren's got his second basket of the game.
Boy, he's so hard to stop, guys, because he poses a ton of matchup problems for the defense.
Well, guys, for the Pacers, it's been a slow and long climb from the malice at the Palace back in '04. But now, with a terrific young team, fresh off a strong showing in the Eastern Conference Finals, we can finally say the Pacers are back, and they're going to be around for a while, contending for championship.
Oladipo, good. The Heat trail by 5. Butler on the way. He has 6. Outside Robinson. Back to Butler. Robinson sets a screen for Butler. Tupon. Number 13. And the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a 3-point play.
You know, that putback's about as easy as it's going to get. You have to put a body on someone down there.
Well, no box out, that's the result you get right there.
And for the Pacers, ever since that unfortunate night in Detroit, the attendance in Indiana has sagged. They've been at the bottom half percentage-wise, Steve, for the last 9 years.
Well, it's time for the fans to come back, Kevin. You know, this is an elite team. They've got really high character, good guys. You know, ticket prices are about 60% less than the league norm. One of the best arenas in the NBA, and hey, it's Indiana. I mean, this is a basketball state.
Jimmy Butler, he's checked in from Miami. And Tyler kicks to Crowder. He passes it to Tyler. The feed to Crowder. 6 to shoot. There's Dragic with the 3. The rebound by Holiday.
Even against solid defense, he's still going to try to continue to make that shot.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I wouldn't bet against him in that situation next time.
Number 9, defended by Butler. Here's McDermott. And there are the Pacers with another bucket.
Kevin, he's got such a great focus as a shooter. You know, he's a very frustrating player to guard because unless you actually block his shot, you are not going to get in his head and affect him.
And one of the more noticeable things about him, Steve, is how ineffective screens are against him. I mean, it's almost like he's got oil all over his body, the way he slips off of them.
The Heat trail by 4. Butler on the way. He's got 6. And Tyler kicks to Crowder. Hits it from three-point range. Crowder's got 6.
There's 6 points on consecutive 3 balls. They're finding holes in this defense.
It should be easy to correct, though, if you start making the right rotations defensively.
Number 9. He's guarded by Dragic. We've got 28 seconds left in the third quarter. The finger roll finish at the bucket.
Seems like they're on their heels every time defensively because the ball continues to go into the post.
Well, if they don't pick up the aggression, things are only going to get worse.
And Tyler kicks to Butler. Now here's Olynyk. Defense is right there. Goes back up. He lays it in. He's got 7.
Gotta love the finger roll up and over the defense.
The shot is off. And we just finished the third quarter, and we've got a tight ball. We've got a great game on our hands as we welcome you back. The fourth quarter of action getting started. And what's your take, guys, in the hustle stats for the Pacers?
Boy, defensively, they've played with a high energy level, guys, and all the steals we've seen, really a result of that aggressiveness.
They've been firing on all cylinders in the transition game, too. I mean, they've really run the break well.
Here's Butler. Kicks it out to Iguodala. Dishes it to Dragic. Stolen away. Number 5. And he uses both hands to jam it in.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
It feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
Ball's not loose. And that's out of bounds. Miami will retain possession. Olynyk is checked in for Jay Crowder. And Tyler kicks to Butler. Tyler dishes to Butler. Olynyk. Offensive rebound. Here's Leonard. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. One free throw coming his way.
He got a great read of where that miss was going, and that allowed him to be the first guy to it and get the putback.
Indiana leading. Here's McDermott. That 3 off the mark. Left side, Butler kicks to Tyler. The pass to Olynyk. Good ball movement here by Miami. Tyler off the pick from Olynyk. Inside, tipped. And that's out of bounds. Miami will retain possession. Robinson's checked in for Miami. A little over a minute of the fourth quarter gone right now. To tie it up. And it's Butler missing.
Boy, I tell you what, guys, he's an extremely strong finisher. I'm surprised he wasn't able to power that through the defense.
Holiday, smooth as silk on the finger roll. And the Pacers lead by 4.
Nothing too fancy, just simple execution. That's getting the job done when they need to make every possession count.
I agree, Clark. They need stops, and they can't afford any wasted possessions. Those inside shots are really high percentage looks.
For Indiana, they've gone 3 of 4 in field goal attempts since getting things started here in the fourth. Oladipo with the ball, working on Jones. Second minute off the clock now in the fourth.
What a play. Man, he got fancy with that one, didn't he?
Yeah, maybe trying to give them the momentum boost they need to break this game open.
And I like that. I mean, some coaches might want to see just a sure-handed lay-in, but I say put as much as you can on the finish. Get your teammates going.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Gentlemen, I had a chance to find out what Nate McMillan was discussing with his players. Despite the deficit, he told his guys, I've got confidence in you. We've had our backs against the wall before. You know what we need to do. Kevin, can they retake the lead?
What a finish with that hoop.
Robinson sets a screen for Butler. From 12 feet out, the Pacers pull it in. Turner's got 6 rebounds in the game. Now a timeout called by Miami. They're losing by 4. 1:32 left in the fourth quarter. The Heat making a switch here. Robinson passes to Jones. Turner with the steal. Now the Pacers moving it up. Warren kicks to Holiday. Butler with the block. It's stolen by Oladipo. Holiday against Robinson. And Holiday kicks to Warren. Off his leg. And it's whistled a kick. Here's Holiday. Here's the floater. Outside Butler. Pass to Robinson. To Pond. Back to Robinson. .41 seconds left to play here in the fourth. That drops.
Huge points. That's beyond huge, Steve. I mean, they needed that bucket desperately.
For Indiana, they've gone 4 of 8 in this fourth quarter, shooting an even 50% from the field.
You know, the only tough part of that basket for him was getting into such good position. The rest of it seemed easy. Time running low here. They need a hoop.
Yeah, score quickly and then foul them right away.
From deep. Pacers with the rebound, and they commit an intentional foul. We'll see another one of those so they can get into the penalty.
That's his second personal foul.
Yeah, no question, the right call at this point. You can't let them just dribble it out.
That's right. I mean, you got to send them to the line and hope for a few misses.
And they go to the intentional foul. He hits the first one, and that puts them up by 5. And so both free throws are good, and it's a 6-point ball game.
The free throws go down and the lead goes up.
He kicks it to Jones. To Pond, guarded by Holiday. Here's Butler. Second shot opportunity. No good. Solid defense there from Oladipo. And so they foul intentionally.
Victor Oladipo.
And he cannot get the first one to drop. Tough one to miss. He's able to hit the second one, and that makes it a 7-point lead. Now Robinson. To Pond. Off target from outside. So it's Indiana picking up the win. They pulled off this win, Clark, with the